Jalen Hurts,
back in time.
Tua, Sunday. Who'd you rather have? It's huge.
It's got to be Jalen Hurts. I mean, let's think about this for a second. They are both in the same draft class.
Yes, sir.
Or am I tripping?
You're not tripping.
Okay, so one guy has been to Super Bowl. One guy wins more. One guy has way more money. Why wouldn't I want to be Jalen Hurts? Now, listen, Jalen Hurts came off a bad loss, right, to the Jets.
Real bad loss.
You know what? He lost that game for us. I'm going to say that. But the one thing about Jalen Hurts is we know he's going to bounce back. The biggest game is not the game you lose or win. It's always how you respond after a really good win or a really bad loss.
That's facts.
And I feel like Jalen Hurts going against Tua, he has a lot to prove. One, we're in the same draft class. And as a competitor, as a player, look, bro, I'm better than you.
Yep.
I can name you every player that got drafted in front of me as a running back. Any position. So Jalen Hurts is the same way. Second round pick, going against the first round pick. Like you just showed them they're going to Alabama together. One guy was the man that got benched for the other guy. So it's always something to get yourself up to play against a player. So I got to be Jalen Hurts for so many different reasons.
Yeah, James, this matchup is so intriguing because, again, going into a little bit more detail, Jalen Hurts starts as a freshman at Alabama.
Yeah.
He is that dude.
Yep.
But then his sophomore year, national championship game, he's not getting the job done. Nick Saban, maybe greatest coach in the history of college football, has to make a pivotal decision.
Yeah.
He benches Jalen Hurts. He brings in Tua, and Tua off the bench puts the team on his back, wins the national championship game.
Yeah.
Wow. Following year, Tua struggling in the SEC championship game. To go to Georgia, Jalen Hurts replaces Tua, and they go to the national championship game again. These two have always been neck and neck, James, this year. Tua's number 1 in total yards. Jalen Hurts is number 2 in total yards. That's how interesting this matchup is. So who would you rather have Sunday?
Think hard about this.
We talking this Sunday, right? We ain't talking Sundays from last year and we talking this Sunday. If we talking this Sunday, it's Tua, and it's no question, right? And I'm going off of this season. This season, Tua is the front runner for the MVP for a reason. Tua is playing lights out. Jalen Hurts is not. However we want to slice it and dice it. And we're still waiting for Jalen Hurts to be the Jalen Hurts from last year, for the Jalen Hurts to bounce back. Jalen is not playing good football right now. He's turning the football over, right? The only blessing about him not playing good football right now and turning the football over is that they're finding ways to win.
It's true.
Right? That's the only thing. But if you ask me what quarterback do I want taking the field on Sunday, it's Tua. Tua is playing lights out right now. This Miami Dolphins offense cannot be stopped. They scoring 70, they scoring 40, they scoring 48. However you want to put it out there, this team is scoring. And the main reason they scoring is because the throws and how Tua is playing football. So you telling me this Sunday I want Tua all day strictly on how the two are playing football right now. One is playing extremely good, MVP frontrunner. One is not playing so good, and he's definitely not playing as well as he was playing last year, and I'm worried about that. I'm taking Tua all day just for this Sunday.
All day on Sunday.
Like 12 a.m.
You know what I'm saying?
To 11:59. I'm rolling to it. Why are y'all doing this to me?
I know, I felt bad.
Why are you doing this to me?
I did feel
You
bad.
know how I feel about Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
You only feel one way about one person.
No, that's you.
Yeah, I'm about to say, that ain't true.
I got lots of love to go around.
That ain't true.
I got lots of love. I share the love. I'm going to go with Tua in this game, and it's a lot because a lot of what James just said. They have the number 1 scoring offense. They have the number 1 total offense. He's a front runner for the MVP. Number 1 passing offense. Number 1 rushing offense. The number 1 in red zone touchdown percentage. Tied for the fewest sacks allowed. They have been playing incredible ball on the offensive side of the ball. We'll talk about the defense later. We're talking about Tua and Jalen right now. You know how I feel about Jalen, and I can continue to defend Jalen because of everything that he has accomplished so far. But in this game, offensively and based off the way that Tua is playing right now, I have to go with Tua. I would rather have Tua in this game.
It is interesting.
That's how you do your job, though. That's how you do your job.
Thank you. Sometimes I gotta
That's how
do my job.
It is interesting because it's like I don't think there's a wrong answer, and the reason I don't think there's a wrong answer is because these two have literally shown there is no wrong answer.
Right.
Like I don't just make up this collegiate story. They're both at the number 1 program in college football from 2010 to 2020. That is Alabama. There is no argument about it. Alabama beat me in a national championship during that span, and I can admit they were the number 1 program there. Then you're both top 2 round picks in the NFL draft. One is in the second round of Jalen Hurts. One is in the first round of Tua. Now this year they're number 1 and number 2 in total yards. So I don't think that there is a wrong answer. I too would take Tua because I like Tua's style of play, but I don't know that there's a wrong answer.
It is a wrong answer. But you know what? I've learned on this show that all it takes is have a good week, and you guys gonna love them. If you have a bad week, you guys gonna hate them. That's what happens.
Because we're talking about
No. We've been doing it every other team. Y'all do this, but let's just stick to this topic right here.
Sir, I'm stuck to it.
Tua at his best Jalen Hurts at his best. Who you guys take?
Tua.
You take Tua?
Tua.
Take
I'll
Tua.
tell you
I would have to say, we're expanding the question, but I would have to say Jalen because Jalen is an all-pro and has played in a Super Bowl and has won multiple playoff games. He has a bigger resume than Tua does.
Okay,
professionally.
and my last one is, at their worst, Tua at his worst or Jalen Hurts at his worst? Who are we taking?
Hurts.
Because Tua's worst is worse.
Tua's worst is worse.
Okay.
Tua's floor is lower.
Right. Do y'all agree?
You switching the question up.
Yeah, we're changing the question.
I'm making my point.
Answer his question.
Jalen Hurts.
Answer his question.
So,
She should have been a lawyer.
right, I'm good at this. So my thing is, I get it. Jalen Hurts has come back from a terrible game, right? But even that is not, that's his worst.
Yeah.
We see Tua be absolutely worse than that. And my thing is, when I look at these players, you got to take the good and the bad.
Sure.
Yeah, no
So
doubt.
we talk about ceilings and talk about floors. I think Jalen Hurts' ceiling is higher.
Yeah.
We've seen that.
And you think
and
his
I
floor
think
is
that the floor
It's higher.
is higher.
Yeah.
But see,
You get what I'm saying? So when you ask me who would I take,
I feel you.
I'm taking the best player, good and bad.
Yeah, but we saying this Sunday, number one, and I think you going off of one game. Jalen ain't been playing well in games. That's my thing. Like, Jalen has not been playing well in games. Two picks in the game, 3 picks in the game, 1 picks in the game, fumbles in the game. Like, he has not been
play
playing.
better.
He has not been playing well. That's all I'm saying. So the question of who you want this Sunday, right, without the resumes and all that of how you are playing right now, Tua is clearly. And it ain't close. Clearly outplaying Jalen Hurts right now at this point of the season. Can Jalen get it turned around? Sure. Jalen is a player. I'm not saying he can't get it turned around, but right now, going into this game, it's not even close of how these two quarterbacks are playing ball.
Go ahead.
Speaking of turning things around, then, Joy, we'll get to you first on this one because the Eagles need to turn it around, figuratively speaking. They got 1 loss.
Yeah.
But I ain't seen Jalen Hurts lose a regular season game, Jalen Hurts, in a long time. We haven't seen the Jalen Hurts lose 2 consecutive games since week 6 of 2021. Jalen Hurts has not lost back-to-back regular season games since week 6, 7 of 2021. 2 years, America. So then, Joy, who needs a win more Sunday, Dolphins or Eagles?
For that reason, I think that the Dolphins do. I don't care much about what just happened with the Eagles and Jalen Hurts in the last game. I understand he hasn't been playing as well as he was last year, but I have faith that Jalen Hurts is going to turn it around because for a multitude of reasons. But even if the Eagles were to lose this game, and they might, the Dolphins have an incredible offense. Even if they were to lose this game, they're 5-2. This is the top of the division.
Yep.
They're going to the playoffs. Like, they're not playing for regular season achievements. That's not what the Eagles are about. They've already shown what they're capable of. They were in the Super Bowl representing the NFC earlier this calendar year. So they're not playing for those kind of accolades. The Dolphins still have to prove that they are true contenders, and that's why I think this game is so important for the Dolphins. They've beat the Chargers, who are 2-3, the Patriots, who are 1-5, the Broncos, who are 1-5, the Giants, who are 1-5, and the Panthers, who have yet to win a game. Now, last year we talked a lot about this.
Eagles
Last year we
ain't too much
talked a
better,
lot. Again, the Eagles have more credibility to me because of what they did last year. And we talked about this a lot with the Eagles last year. They haven't beaten anybody. But then they started to beat some people. So I really want to see what this Dolphins team as a whole is going to do. I'm not concerned about the offensive side of the ball. I am concerned about if this defense can go on the road and get a big win against one of the best teams in the league. Yeah. I think that they can. I think they're capable of it. I'm picking them to win. But this, to me, is a real sorry, something going on here, a little spooky. Is a real measuring stick for where the Dolphins are to me, even though the Eagles just came off of a loss.
That's a great point, though, real quick, because as I'm thinking about this, when they put all these points on all these different teams, put 70 on the team, and then they play the Bills in Buffalo, Orchard Park, got spanked.
Big.
So now you're taking that same team, right, who we think is really, really good, and to me, Tyreek Hill should be the MVP of this season.
He should be in there. For sure.
I love Tyreek Hill's game. But as I look at it, when you talked about it, so now the Eagles is a hard place to win, first of all, and we got really, really good defense and a really, really good team. I won't be surprised if they lose by 14, 17 points. Because the Dolphins, we seen that we seen the same thing on the road. We seen it before.
I feel you.
Right now, I don't know who's gonna win the game. I don't know that. Yeah. I know a lot of things. I be right a lot, but I don't know that.
Who needs to win?
Who needs to win? Now that's a different. That's a different
needs to win?
That's a great question.
That's the question.
Eagles, they gotta win. The Eagles gotta win. You know why? Because when you come off a loss and you respond and you bounce back, that shows you what type of players and type of coaches you have. Yeah. Right? It's the chemistry, the bond. How can you respond when you get slapped in the mouth and you don't respond? How do you respond back? Yeah. The next game is what shows you what type of team we really have. So if you had to pick the team who needs to win more, it's got to be the Eagles.
Yeah. I wish I could say both. Because I feel the same. What George just brought up, I feel the same way. Both these teams have not really played like elite teams, elite competition. The best win that the Eagles got is against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I guess you could say the best win the Dolphins got is against the Chargers. You know, week 1. But
I think that is their best win.
Yeah, but they haven't really played really good teams. This is the first time this is 2 teams going at it that's really good. But for me, it's the Eagles. The Eagles need to win more. Number 1, the Cowboys are sitting on the bye. You lose this game, you don't let the Cowboys back into the division because both of y'all got 2 losses. Right? The first goal, like you always say, Shady, is the division.
The division.
Right? So you gave up a game against the Jets till you really could have expanded on the Dallas Cowboys and really opened your lead up on them. Now you lose this game and you really let the Cowboys, getting rest, creep back up in the division to be able to compete for this division. Number 2, since week 1, we still haven't seen the Eagles play their best football. We've seen the Dolphins put up 70. We've seen the Dolphins put up 48, whoever they're going up against. But we've seen them play really good football. We haven't seen that from the Eagles.
Here's my question. Got to stop you. Because you are right. But I'm wondering, James, at what point is this the Eagles football this year? We keep saying we haven't seen the Eagles play good football. And then while you were talking, I said, wait a second. He's right. But y'all, it's mid-October.
Yeah.
We better be in November. At what point, like, is this Eagles football? Yeah. They will win games. It won't be pretty versus on a bad day, they might lose. Like, and it's not a bad thing. They're 5-1. If this is Eagles football, they'll go 14-3. Ooh. But what we keep saying, we haven't seen them play their best. Unless this is just, Jalen Hurts will have 15 picks this year. He'll have 27 touches. Maybe this just is this era of the Eagles this year, and that could be okay too.
Well, but if it was any other team, I would say you're correct on that. But the reason why we keep on saying, at least I keep on saying, is why this ain't the Eagles team, because I believe number 1's going to play better in Justin Hurts. I believe Jalen Hurts. I believe he's going to play better. This is not the way he's playing right now. I don't think this is him. I think he can play better, which he will. Defensively, we know what they got on the defensive side of the ball. So we're all waiting like, okay, the defense had a really good week last, but we waiting for all these boys to get after the quarterback like they were getting after the quarterback last year. So I think with the way this team is built, of how many superstars this team has, we like eventually they going to snap out of this and dominate somebody and play really good football, and we're going to be looking at it like that's the Eagles. It hasn't happened yet, so this is who they are right now. And that is why I'm taking Tua, and that's why I'm saying the Eagles really have to win this game. I think it's more important for them to win this game than it is the Dolphins.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.